Tim Biggam is joining us from Delta Derivatives. Tim, let's talk some Chewy. What do you think here? Are you a believer in the story? A believer in the stock price?
I'm a believer in the story, but kind of not a believer in the stock price up at these levels here. I think, we've seen a 25% pretty much rally just over the past several weeks off that $40 low here, running into a little resistance around 50. You're looking at price to sales now over 4 for the first time ever. So I think, given the fact that they still haven't made money, this is one of those, momentum stocks that just keeps going higher in this market. At some point, it will matter. Kind of like Zoom last week, we talked about it. They actually beat on earnings, but the stock kind of floundered. Looking for the same kind of thing here. So I'm just taking advantage of some pretty rich implied volatility, stretching out of the money bear call spread that expires this Friday to capture some rich premium and position to be a seller on about another, 13% rally here. It's right at that expected move range, option market pricing at about 13%. That's where I'm hanging my head as well.
I think it's a good point to bring up Zoom because after their report, they had some initial strength, but were basically right to where they were prior to their earnings, which were back in early June, June 2nd. So I think this is a good reference point for what we see so far in some of these core kind of quarantine portfolio trades, right? I mean, Zoom and Chewy, it doesn't get more, explicit than that in terms of those companies that worked during this period.
Yeah, absolutely right. And at some point, these, quarantine darlings, if they continue to work, that means we're staying at home longer, which means the economy is weakening, which is probably a negative for all stocks generally here. So I think the quarantine stocks basically as a whole here are kind of looking a little tired and toppy. They've certainly had a heck of a run here. I think they'll come out with, earnings that will continue to kind of be better than the rest of the market as far as growth and so forth. But given the fact that they have shot up so quickly, I'm a little cautious here. And I think yesterday we saw, the VIX up with the market up. Today we're seeing some weakness, the Fed beginning to taper. So I think stocks generally and the momentum darlings in particular probably in from some rough sledding between now and the 4th of July.
Okay, rough sledding for the quarantine stocks. We will see this afternoon, Chewy, like the reference last week, Zoom, as we start to see the late reports for this earnings season on some of the most important companies of the coronavirus trade. Tim Biggam, Delta Derivatives.